All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're excited to be with you. My name is Jason McClellan with Insurance Advisors Direct. And today we're going to be really updating. If you've sat through some of our group Medicare presentations in the past, you've probably heard about some of these ideas, some of these solutions. And today, for the first time in a while, we're bringing you an update on these products and this wonderful opportunity within the Medicare space. So for some of you, this is probably brand new, and for others, hopefully you find some nice updated information, some great new ideas that you can take into 2023. And again, if you're in the Medicare space, I just want to say this before we get started, these are important to know about. Even if this is a product that you're not going to use, you find no use for in the future, that's okay. Because if you're in the Medicare space and you're bringing solutions to your prospects, to your clients, it's important to know what other products exist. You know, sometimes we may get so focused in on our standard plans, individual Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage, that it's really important to understand to be well-rounded when it comes to the variety of products that exist within the Medicare space. So today we hope to, for some of you, even just round out that educational part so that you have a better understanding that there are solutions out there in the market that fit into the small, medium, and large group. And we're going to get into more details as to what classifies those groups and how this opportunity fits. So thank you again for joining us. Let's go ahead and get started and talk just for a moment. You know, when we look at the Medicare space, when you look at statistics, here's really some important statistics to consider. Roughly about 38%, and some of these numbers may be changing as in the last couple of years, Medicare Advantage has become a bit more popular, although sometimes that's by state or region. But roughly, we look at the Medicare population and choices people make. And we see about 30% nationwide are choosing a Medicare supplement type program, 29% Medicare Advantage, and then 33% fit into that group and other category. Now, this would be important because if you're in the Medicare space, what we need to consider is, first off, how do people choose? You know, which of these products and solutions that they get into, and which of these pieces of the pie are you most concerned about? Well, hopefully, if you're trying to grow and scale your business and continue to offer great solutions to your clients and prospects, hopefully you're concerned about all three pieces of the pie. And understanding why individuals end up in these different pieces are important because that will help you to best guide your clients to the proper solution depending on their circumstances. So we're going to really, I guess, talk in more detail about the importance of this slide as we go through our presentation and understand what goes into some of the decision-making, what goes into some of the presentation of these solutions. But again, it's important for you, if you're a Medicare advisor, to know about all of these options. So today we're going to be talking about a product that is filed as a group retiree medical, okay? And that's not so important other than just understand that that is how it is filed with the Department of Insurance. And within those guidelines gives it certain latitude that is a bit different than what we might know on the other products in this category. So what are some of the other product solutions? Well, we've got group MAPD products. I'm starting to hear actually that those are becoming a little bit more popular within certain markets. We have individual Medicare supplements that can kind of compete for attention within this space. We have individual MAPD products. And that really is about what is available to individuals. Of course, we've got subcategories out there. You know, when we say MAPD or Medicare Advantage, there's a whole host of other options out there. We've got PPOs, we've got HMOs, we've got SNP plans. So there are obviously other solutions, but to round out kind of the main categories, these are essentially what exists. Now, there are some group Medicare supplement products, and those essentially are very similar to a Medicare supplement, but just written on a larger scale. So this is how we're going to look at how does group retiree medical differ? How does it fit? And again, why is it so important? So let's continue on. What this does first and foremost, and we talk a lot at Insurance Advisors Direct about marketing. We think that year-round marketing is essential to everyone's successful, healthy lead generation, business building, techniques. And this is just one other way that you can actually use a product to do some better marketing. And to understand what we mean by that, let's talk a little bit about this in more detail. So who's available? Who's eligible? Who is this product available to? Real simple, it's to persons with Part A and Part B of Medicare. So they have to be Medicare eligible. Now, this group product, even though we keep saying group, and some of you might say, I don't do group, understand that with this product, it is the only one on the market that will actually go down to a group size of one life, one eligible life, and has no minimum participation requirements to both start the group or to even maintain that group. Once a group is established, it will sit open until eligible members maybe come in. Even if they leave, there again is no minimum participation requirements, and we can go down to a group size of one life. And that's important as we talk about how this leads into better marketing for you. Now, again, they must be 65 or older and on Medicare A and B. So if you're asking, hey, I've got somebody who's on disability, well, one thing there, for a large enough group, we may be able to insure some under 65 disability, but that under 65 disability count would have to be less than 10% of the total population of the group. So again, as you can tell, it would be for those who are obviously 10 or more eligible members who join, and then we can do some under 65 disability enrollments. And that's new within just the last couple of years. Prior to that, it was strictly for those who are 65 and older and on Medicare. So there has been a slight adjustment to that as well. Now, this is available to both active employees who are full-time workers and also to those who are retired, as well as their spouses. Now, to understand how that works, we're going to get into in a bit what we call the TEFRA, non-TEFRA guidelines. If some of you are familiar with those, that's great. If you're not, we're going to touch on that and go through it in detail so that you can understand, again, how you have more opportunities with this product to market to new people. Better marketing opportunities continue. So eligible groups, so it's another big one. And this is where it gets really broad. And that's where this product, again, continues to shine when it comes from a marketing perspective. You can talk to corporations, S Corps, C Corps, LLCs, okay? You can go into nonprofit organizations. We have many of those. Religious organizations. We're actually in the process of talking to some right now. We have a number of municipalities that are under contract and have groups, some very large groups within this particular product called Seniors Choice. Other unions, other government entities, okay? Now, going a bit further, we can even take, as you can see, their occupational licenses. So individuals who, doctors, dentists, insurance agents. We have a lot of insurance agents with their license alone that will sponsor this and will put themselves on as a single person group. So just think about that for a minute. And again, how broad that might, create opportunities. We can do hospitals, and we even have some Native American tribes in different parts of the country. So just about the only thing that we can no longer set up as an actual group would be associations. Beyond that, we can basically look at just about any opportunity within the group space. We do have a quick question that I can answer real briefly. Do all members have to be 65, only including a spouse? I hope I understand this question. Everyone who wants to enroll has to be Medicare eligible with Part A and Part B. And they would also have to, depending on the group size, they can't be under 65 disability. It's really that simple. So hopefully that answers your question. And one other question that came out, is the Senior's Choice available to sell right now? Yes, as a matter of fact, I've worked with this product myself for 20 years now. That's when our first group, large group, it was a municipality that came around. This plan has been around for probably 27 years. And Insurance Advisors Direct has been the exclusive FMO partner nationally for this product for about the last 5 years. Now, to answer your question a little further, and then we'll have to move on, is Senior's Choice is available in roughly about 40 states where you can actually establish a new group. Michigan is one of those, which is where we're located. If you have questions on the other states, we can send you that. Now, you can enroll members who live anywhere in the country, but the states where it's approved is just determining where you can actually establish a group, if that is where their office or where their home is located. And there's ways we can work around that and help guide you to get a group set up if they happen to be in a state where it's not yet approved. But again, that's going to get into a little more detail that we would take on a side conversation one-on-one with you. So again, here are the groups that are eligible. And yes, this is for sale now and has been for many years. And for some of you, it's just a new solution that maybe you've never heard about, but it has been around for quite some time. Now, we talked about opening up more doors, better marketing opportunity, getting in front of more people. Well, one of the big ways to do that is getting in front of smaller groups. We actually have some large agency relationships over in the state of California. That is all they do. They go after their employers that they insure. Everyone that has less than 20 employees, they bring this solution in. What happens in this particular product with the way it's filed in the trust is actually the government has made this allowable for groups, companies with less than 20 employees. You can actually, within that group, you can enroll full-time active working individuals. You can enroll their spouses, of course. You can do part-time employees, and then you can also insure the retirees from that group. So with less than 20 employees, it actually opens the door up to all individuals that are part of that organization. Now, if you're in a little larger group, which is 20 or more, then those who are eligible would be your part-time employees that are not eligible for group benefits, and the retirees of that group, including their spouses. So let's get into a little more detail on that and what it means to be a non-TEFRA group. Okay, what happens within a non-TEFRA group is you would have a population, again, of less than 20 employees, full-time, part-time. Now, within those groups, what tends to happen is we have a lot of those individuals who will be sitting on the group plan as primary. If they're 65 and older, they've got their Part A of Medicare, but they hopefully have not enrolled yet in Part B of Medicare. But with those types of groups, because this individual would now be eligible technically to participate in their Part A and B benefits, that employer could actually set up this group plan, force their individuals who are still actively working, who are 65 or older, to go on Medicare A and B, introduce this as a solution for their supplement to their Medicare benefits, and that would be the equivalent of like-for-like benefits that they're getting under the employer plan. Now, you may say, okay, well, that seems a bit, extreme to force somebody onto Medicare. But remember the advantages, and this is where it's better for everyone involved. If you are to take those individuals who are 65 and older, eligible for Medicare, off the group plan, look what it does. If you read those lower bullet points, it lowers the average age of the group, which in a sense should lower the premiums of that group coverage. And now everyone part of that group coverage, including the employer, shares in those savings. You've now lowered the premium for the individual who is 65 or older, because now they have their Medicare benefits and they get this low-cost supplement. In addition to that, now you have found a true solution that gives that individual better coverage, because what happens with Medicare and with this supplement, and we'll get into the benefit details later, but now you have complete coverage. They don't have to worry about networks, HMOs, PPOs. They don't have to worry about their deductibles, their co-insurances, their co-pays. They don't have to worry about their max out of pocket, because again, Medicare A and B is now primary, and the other solution, Senior's Choice, is secondary. That individual can use it anywhere they want now and not be subject to any of those co-pays and deductibles, depending on the program they choose. Now, the employer, in most cases, what we tend to find, sees a significant reduction in premium savings, and they've actually done a better job for their employee. So it's actually a win-win-win for everyone involved. And you as an agent now look like a hero who's saved this group a tremendous amount of dollars. And in many cases, what we tend to find is those employers are usually willing to put those dollars into extra benefits, maybe some worksite products, cancer, critical illness, dental vision. Maybe they're willing to put those dollars back in. So again, it does a lot of good for the group as a whole, and especially for the individual who's on Medicare. So keep those points in mind. Of course, if you have more questions, because we understand from many of you, this non-TEFRA, TEFRA is a bit out of left field. We'd be happy to answer those for you another time. So what are some of the other selling features of this product that make it better and more versatile, that either from their original group solution or from some of those other solutions, as we talked about earlier, like group MAPD or individual Medicare supplements, individual MAPD? Well, unlike a Medicare supplement, that if somebody is beyond their open enrollment period, they would have to go through underwriting. Well, because this is a group plan, that wouldn't work. So this plan is guarantee issue. So guaranteed acceptance for anyone that enrolls. That includes the employee, that includes their spouses and eligible members. Guarantee issue. No health questions. We submit an enrollment form. That's it. Nationwide coverage, because again, Medicare is primary. So if you're used to the Medicare supplement side of the business, as you know, they go in with their Medicare card, they've got their supplemental card. Senior Choice is the same way. Doctors take it, they bill Medicare, they bill Senior's Choice simultaneously. Those bills are paid. Your client receives nothing but a form, EOMB, showing what was paid. It supplements Medicare A and B. So even though this is called a group retiree medical, it supplements A and B. So just remember that, because we still get a lot of questions. Is this for somebody on Medicare? Well, do they have to be on Medicare? Yes, this supplements Medicare, so they have to be on Medicare. Of course, for coverage, there's no referrals necessary. First day coverage, there is no pre-existing conditions. We also have some additional embedded association benefits. We also have, let me move my little screen here. We also have 3 different plan designs. Now, for those of you who are familiar with the Medicare supplement space, those would look very similar. And we're going to go through them in just a moment. They look just like a Plan F, just like a G, or a high deductible F. Okay. In addition, we have a comprehensive Part D or EGWP, Employer Group Waiver Plan. We'll talk about that in a moment. With the higher end option, there is no coverage gap, so there's no donut hole. It's complete coverage all the way throughout. It's got an extremely robust formulary. It covers all the high cost medications, and that's why it's proper for a group type solution, because as we know, those standalone PDP'S might be a little less expensive. They may not have the complete coverage that some of your group members might need. There is covers obviously your Part A, your Part B deductible, skilled nursing, foreign travel. It covers excess charges. And a couple of the key points to consider too is this does have a level lifetime commission. So you as an agent, as you're selling that, you're being paid throughout the years of servicing that group. And to keep it serviceable and keep it stable, we have a very, very consistent, stable rate structure. And we'll talk about that later with how little those rates actually go up on a year-by-year basis. In many of the years, there is no rate increases. So extremely important when you're dealing with a group of any size, but especially when you get into the larger groups. So this is a brief look at the product itself. So we have 3 plan options. We have the Preferred Choice Plus, we have the Basic Choice, and the Preferred Choice. Those are the new options available. Some of you, if you're familiar with this from years ago, remember we had co-pays, no co-pays. We had like 12 deductible options. It just got to be a bit confusing. Even though it was very customizable, it was a bit confusing. So we simplified it. We refiled in all the states, and we came up with this platform that, as you'll see, the Preferred Choice Plus looks just like a Plan F. The Basic Choice looks like a Plan G, and the Preferred Choice looks like a high deductible F. Okay, so you have your full coverage to your high deductible options. And again, if you're selling Medicare supplements, you're very familiar with that structure. Now, the other cool thing about this, though, is many of us know that for those who are new to Medicare, Plan F is no longer available. As of those who turned 65, I believe it was January of 2020 forward, well, this product is available because, again, it's not a Medicare supplement, Plan F. It is filed as a group retiree medical. So another distinction there, and where it makes this product even better. So all of your new individuals coming into this program, whether they've been 65 for a while or they're just brand new to Medicare, they can have this Plan F lookalike at any time. So let's talk a little bit about the additional advantages to this product when it comes to quoting, when it comes to the premiums of this. Now, as you can see on the left here, this is just maybe a bit blurry for you, but we can send this to you. This is the rate structure. Now, like most Medicare supplements, you'll see that there are area factors based on zip codes. So on the left-hand side, we have the states where it's approved, and then you'll see the next column is availability, whether it's available or pending. And then based on where your group is being set up, and that can be based on where you and the group choose. Let's say they have multiple office locations, multiple places around the country. We would recommend choosing the area factor that is the lowest cost, because when you set up the group, whatever area factor is attached to that, that will be the rate for everyone from that point forward, regardless of what state they start in or what state they move to. So it's very important to keep that in mind. But these are zip code based. Some of the other advantages, now you can use either the standard book rates, or we could do a composite rate for a little larger groups, usually from like 15, 20 on up. The rates, again, as I mentioned, are based on where the group is established. So if you have a group that gets set up and those persons move to a high cost market area, let's say it's to a New York or to a Florida, California, there's quite a few of those markets that are very costly. Or in some cases, like New York, this product, you actually can't set up a group in New York. But if those persons reside there, if they move there, they would be covered, and their premiums would be based on where the group was set up. If they happen to move, it doesn't matter. They still maintain the rates where the group is established. In addition to this rate structure, a couple of things you won't find is you will not see male or female rates. So male, female receives the same rates. There are no non-smoker or smoker categories. Smokers and non-smokers also receive the exact same rates. And remember, again, these are all guaranteed issue. So what is some of the rate premiums and classes out there? Well, many are surprised. Usually when we talk about this being guaranteed issue, very stable, it's group, they instantly think it's extremely expensive. Well, if you look at some of the lower cost area factors for someone who's 65, you can see from the high deductible option, The lowest premium would be roughly around $62 a month, to the highest option, which would be the Plan F lookalike at $165. So as we know today, in today's, I guess, premium environment, 165 is not that expensive for all the perks and all of the opportunities that come with this product. Again, and that's the same for individuals regardless of the group size. And another, I guess, side point, you can offer all three solutions regardless of the group size. So you don't have to have a group of more than 5 to offer all three, or more than 2 to offer 2 of them. You can offer, regardless of the size of the group, you can offer any one of these solutions. And if they choose a solution, and this is year-round enrollment, so there is no AEP, there's no OEP. If you set this group up middle of the year and individuals want to start enrolling into it, they can do that. Even if they're coming from a Medicare Advantage, they can do that, because remember, this is a group product. So it would create an SEP. They can move over with the drug plan, and they can move over with the medical side of things. So keep that in mind too. So year-round enrollment, and once a year, they will be given obviously an open enrollment period towards the end of the year, where they can also make plan adjustments, changes, and updates, and so forth. So just a quick look at the premiums. So employer group waiver plan. Now that is our Part D. If you've ever gone through the Medicare certification and you've heard of the EGWPs, employer group waiver plans, that's where these programs come from. Okay, that's why they exist. They exist to work within this group space. We have currently 2 Part D options. Okay, there's a 0 deductible option. Obviously, it's fixed co-pays, extremely robust formulary. Our top option has no donut hole, no coverage gap. You can change annually if the person chooses, and we can even customize for larger groups. Now, the PBM behind this program, and has been for roughly 8+ years, I want to say, is Humana. Okay, they're the PBM. You do not have to become certified to sell this particular RX option. So that's another key point. We know in the Part D space, you have to be certified and recertified to continue commissions. You do not have to be certified or recertified to sell this product or to maintain your commissions on this product. Now, the advantage, and I'll just chat for a moment about this, the advantage with this program is, in some cases, depending on the group you're dealing with, prescription drugs almost become the most important part of it. If you've ever gone into a group, if you've ever quoted a group and looked at the structure of a group, and you start talking to the members, you start realizing maybe not them, but maybe a spouse is taking some extremely costly medications, happens all the time. This would be your solution. You know, when you start looking at the individual Part D solutions in the market, they might be low cost, but in many cases, they have a very basic formulary. They don't do much for those high cost medications. And now you have to really get through that coverage gap into catastrophic coverage before it makes much sense. Where this is going to set them up on a copay throughout the year with this drug plan. And again, in many cases, that can save individuals thousands of dollars a year. So we even have some groups that come on strictly just for this. Now, you'll see on this slide, you can see the 2 plan options, preferred choice and premier. You'll also see the premiums at the bottom, $149 and $383. So as you can see, those are very costly options, but when they are appropriate for the individual, they are a great solution. You know, if you're talking somebody spending $5,000, $10,000 a year out of pocket for their drugs, this would be a huge premium savings for them, or huge cost savings, even if maybe the premium's high. So it's really now about the value. Now, if you have somebody who's not taking any medications, who's part of your group, or they don't need this solution, that's fine. You can enroll them into the medical side, and you do not have to enroll them into the EGWP side. You can put them on a standalone PDP if you want. These programs are all independent of each other, so you do not have to put everybody on all of the plan options that we have available. So again, the key here is what value is it bringing to that person? If the value is it's saving them money, then the premium shouldn't matter. If the premium's too high and they don't have the value because they're not taking medications, then put them on another lower cost solution. So how do you get started? Nice and simple. It's a 2-page form, either done electronically or on paper. You can fill this out with the employer information. You can check the boxes of the plans that you want presented. Most agents check all. You submit it. Within 24 hours, we'll have a group code, and that will be the code that you'll use for all enrollments going forward. It's just that simple. There might be a little documentation that's required to prove the group eligibility, but at the end of the day, that's it. It's that simple. Some of the other advantages to this product, again, is greater persistency and residual income. As I mentioned, level commissions for life. The other key to keeping these groups healthy and happy is low rate increase environment. We right now run at a very low claims loss ratio. And how we're able to do that is obviously managing this plan for many, many years. And as well, when individuals get into this program, they are now put into the trust. Now, within that trust, every individual from every state is included. So if we have some high claims come in from a particular area, it doesn't ruin it for the other individuals in that area. It's now taken care of and looked at and spread out across the whole group. And it's not just targeting one specific group, or it's not targeting one state. It's now absorbed by everyone who's in that trust. So because of that, our 10-year composite rate has had an average rate increase of 1.8%, extremely low. Now, I just recently, and we'll be updating this, I just recently did an analysis, and if we go now back the last 13 years, we've only averaged 1.3% in rate increases. So it's key when you're setting up a group. A lot of agents look and go, why can't I just write these few people on an individual Medicare supplement plan? That's what I'm used to. Well, now you've got people that might be moving to a new area. Maybe if they're scattered across a couple states and a rate increase comes through, now you got to go take care of that one, and the others are good. There's so many different scenarios within even just a medium-sized group. Next thing you know, you're getting licensed in all those states. And that's another key. You only have to be licensed in the state where the group is being set up. If you're enrolling members all over the country, again, they're coming in through that group that's set up in your state. So you don't have to have all of those licenses. So that's another important thing, where you'd have to have that with an individual product. So again, this was built for the small, medium, and large group environment, but very low to stable rates. That's again why so many people, as I mentioned, we've had a group that's offered this plan now for almost 20 years, and they're still offering it. So very, very competitive rates, and you receive level commissions for servicing that for life. So just to wrap this up, as a summary, why are some reasons why you would look at Senior's Choice in this group retiree medical product? Well, again, tremendous rate stability, networks. So just like a Medicare supplement, they can go anywhere. You've got some flexible plan options from your deductible option to your full coverage. It has embedded association benefits at no additional cost. It's always guarantee issue regardless of their age and how long they've been on Medicare Part A and B. It's Section 125 POP eligible. So again, you can write this off. Employers, even small employers, can write with a company check. You can pay for this out of pension dollars. We have some groups that will split bill. So maybe they as an employer pay a portion of it based on years of service, and the rest is billed to the employee or the retiree. So that's an option. This is portable. Somebody moves, doesn't matter. It's now covered them where they move to. We've got our EGWP, our extensive Part D coverage. Bringing a solution like this can dramatically lower the cost for a group. Even if you're just targeting the retiree population, we have some groups, even locally here, that have had an extreme amount of premium obligations with multiple plan designs. We're able to consolidate that and save them hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars in some cases, just because of how this program is set up. Especially if you're talking into the public sector, and some may be, they may be self-insuring. There's a lot of different scenarios out there, but these are just some of the reasons that we see stand out that make this an extremely competitive option. Again, you can go down to group sizes of 1 life. Premiums are based solely on the area factor where that trust participation agreement is signed, and the group remains indefinitely. I just had an agent call me from a state and had some health problems. He set up a teacher group roughly 6-7 years ago, but hasn't been active. Called to see if he can re-establish that group, and the group was already still active. It still had maintained. We never cancel a group. It doesn't matter if the employer sells, doesn't matter if they go bankrupt. These individuals can remain under that group permanently for life, as long as those premiums are being paid. So as you see, there is a tremendous need, and hopefully all of you, and this is just a light version to get the wheels turning, to hear about a new solution, maybe get a little update on this solution if you've heard about it before. But there's a tremendous need for this product. As we go into the group space, even the individual space, we talk to a lot of groups that this is a extreme pain point for them, and you have the opportunity to bring them a solution. Or maybe you have the opportunity to open more doors. Let's say you're talking to someone who's retired from a group and you're doing their Medicare, and you may ask, hey, does your group offer anything? Did your employer offer anything? Is there someone there I could talk to? I actually have a solution that could fit for everyone else you've worked with and who retires and now is on Medicare. Could you introduce me? We've had agents come in through the side door that way and opened up the doors to many, many enrollments just because that individual was able to introduce them to that group, to that decision maker, and great opportunity for you. So again, just start thinking about the ways that this product itself could open doors. And if you're already in the group space, hopefully you can clearly see a tremendous opportunity. Let's see, we do have another question. I'll get to that in just a moment. So again, this solution helps with the rising costs that employers and retirees are experiencing. It sticks with them and is consistent, and they don't have to worry about as they age later in life. Maybe they've got a little tighter retirement budget. They don't have to worry about some of those extreme rate increases like we see occur. So let's see. Okay, that's really it. That's the overview of the Senior's Choice product, Group Retiree Medical. Let's open this up to questions. I do have everyone muted. So if you could just type the questions in the question box, we'll be able to answer those. So let's look at our next question. If an individual is retired and under 65 and not disabled, or possibility with a union or association, can they get this coverage? So as a reminder, you have to have Part A and B of Medicare. So no, they could not get this coverage. This has to be a supplement to Medicare. So it doesn't matter the scenario, they have to have Medicare A and B. Let's see, Stacy, we have a question. What documents do you submit as proof of a business? Good question. And we will send out a brochure on this product. I believe in the brochure, it talks about which documents are required. Because it is a bit different if you're filing for like a nonprofit, a church, if you're a different corporation, you just have to send those articles of incorporation as proof that the group is legitimate, but we will get you that list because it is a bit different for each one. The question, this used to be with UHC and now it's GTL. Yeah, good question. So there is an underwriter because this product, just not to confuse things, but how this is set up. So this is all done through a trust, a very unique trust that they don't exist today. This is one of the few, and that's why you won't find a product like this out there. That trust is owned by a company called MBA, Merchants Benefit Administrators. Now, Merchants Benefit is the owner of the trust, the owner of this product, and they are also the TPA behind this product. But in order to insure individuals, obviously it has to go through an insurance company and an underwriter. So currently that underwriter and insurance company is GTL, Guaranteed Trust Life, out of Chicago, Illinois. Hopefully many of you have heard of that. A very reputable company, A- rated. But prior to GTL taking over this book of business, which happened, I want to say 8 to 10 years ago, prior to that, United Healthcare was the insurer and the underwriter to this product. So looks like somebody has worked with this in the past, because those were the early days of it. And yes, more recently it's with GTL. Okay. Do we have any other questions that we can answer before we wrap up? Okay. Looks like that's it. Again, just want to thank all of you for coming out this afternoon. We had a nice group here with us. Hopefully we were able to give you some updates on this product, give you some new ideas based on the Medicare solutions that exist out there. Hopefully we've shown you a product that might open more doors for you. So if you have any interest in this product, please reach out to us and our team. We'll make sure that we follow up. We'll get you the appropriate information, just basic brochures. We can get you the appointment paperwork and help get you started, especially if you have some groups. We'd be happy to run those proposals for you and get you going on the road to offering this product. So thank you again for showing up. We appreciate all the input. We appreciate the questions. Let's just see if we have one more. Have an existing MedSup client that's 80, retired. This is part of the beauty. So yes, if she owns a beauty supply store, then she could establish a group and she'd be eligible to enroll into this product, regardless of being 80 or whatever age she might be. She just has to have Part A and B of Medicare. So great question. We'd love to help you get that group started. So again, I want to thank everyone for joining us. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your questions. And we look forward to chatting with you in the future as we get you started working with our group retiree medical with Seniors Choice. Thanks, everyone, and have a great day.